Alright guys, welcome back to the shop. I have a really old restoration that I did probably almost 10 years ago. It's been banging around my garage, getting beat up. But it needs some help. I will tell you though, it started off even worse than it looks now. Right, it looked like this. It was very tired. It's a 1995 Schwinn Moab S, and it was just beat up and abused. I gave it a nice paint job and tried to do my best to restore it, and that's what it looks like now. But it's got some issues, and I'm going to explain those right now. All right, so what has to happen to this bike? I'm going to go through each one. First of all, this used to be a white seat. It's turned yellow. That's got to go. On the seat post, you can see it's all scratched up. The inside of the frame, something sharp in there. So I got to fix that. These forks, they're RST. They're completely collapsed and shot and really not good anyways. So those got to go. The brakes were new when I put them on, so they're still good. But these tires, although in concept they're really neat, smooth on the center, aggressive on the edges, I personally don't like the way they look. So those gotta go. These cranks, although pretty good, they were constantly coming loose. I know it was probably just no Loctite in one of the nuts, but it was driving me crazy, and they're gonna go. The drivetrain, although it works great, it's 3x7. It's kind of boring. And so I'm going to redo this to a 3x9 using the same wheel. That's where the magic comes in. The frame has some scratches and scuffs. The red paint is orange peeled. As you can see that, and very scratched up. I do love the way that paint scheme is, so I'm going to try to keep it. And so I'm going to touch up the white, maybe respray the black, and respray the red, and then give it some clear coat to protect it. Brake levers I'm going to keep. The twist grips were new when I put them on. They're still good, but they're going to go away with the 3x7 drivetrain, as well as the steel handlebar and the steel stem. When I replace the fork, it will have a threaded stem, or a threaded steering tube. So it's going to get a new headset as well. As I get into the teardown of this bike, I just did want to remind you, I've done approximately 40 different bikes, rebuilds or refreshes on my channel. So there's probably something that suits everybody's interests. So please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and go search around all the different bikes that I have on my channel. And if there's something that you haven't seen that you'd like to see, let me know. I will try to find something. But also, I do have a website where you can buy some stickers. It's diffuseshop.com. That's in the description, in the video below, or the video description below. Also, if you ever see any parts that I use, there's usually a link to where you can get them in the description below as well. So, anyways, let's continue to enjoy this teardown. All right, now let's talk about 3x7. So this is a 7-speed. I've got about 4.5 millimeters between the outside of that cassette to the frame. I've got around 36 millimeters from that outer cog to the frame as well, ish. And so we'll compare that to what we do once we switch over the free hub and put on the 9-speed cassette. So always, when you do these, you always start on the non-drive side to take off the nuts and all the fasteners that hold that hub in place. And you can see I'm not going to touch the drive side. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm just going to clean it up, but it's locked in place, so I'm not changing where that is on the hub. All right, so here is a 7-speed freewheel, and this is the 8 through 11 speed freewheel. You can see there's a difference. That's about 35. That's about 39. So there's about a 4 millimeter difference. As you can tell, there was about a 4 millimeter difference in my frame clearance to the inner cog. The old freewheel came with this 1 millimeter spacer, and so did this, which goes against the hub. I'm not going to use this to gain an extra 1 millimeter clearance. So we're going to put this on. One thing also to note, if you're going to do this, you need to look at the pattern and how many teeth, and make sure you get the same one with the same amount of teeth, because there's lots of different free hubs with lots of different interfaces. This is one of the more common ones though. So we'll put this one on. right, so you can see the clearance is pretty similar, 4.5 millimeters to the frame on the small cog. The large cog, instead of 36 millimeters like I had before, you will see I actually have 42. So everything is actually moved inward in the bike, and everything got lots of clearance for this new drive system. I get a lot of people asking me about this headset press. I don't recommend it, so you won't find a link for it. It's kind of a POS. I do, on the other hand, definitely recommend this little grease gun. That thing gets in all sorts of little cracks and crevices and is pretty darn handy to use. And that you'll find a link in the description below. Now, for the front derailleur, because the front derailleur came from another bike that had an aluminum frame, I had to put in a little spacer for 28.6 millimeters to a 31.8. You can find those spacers just about anywhere on Amazon, and I'll put a link to the description below if you need some kind of special spacer. Well, there it is. A bike that was lost and found, and then lost again, and now found again. It doesn't look a lot different from what it did before, but it is a lot better. 3x9 drivetrain, that is a world of difference between the 3x7. That front fork is much better. We've got better tires, better everything. It is it's ready for another 10 years before maybe I have to look at it again. But generally speaking, I'm a Schwinn guy, as you guys probably know, and I like this black and white and red combo of the paint, and it just kind of brings back the original Schwinn DNA from kind of that 80s and 70s kind of vibe. But I hope you guys like it. I dig this thing a lot. It's really heavy. It's definitely not a great mountain bike, but from a nostalgia point of view, I really think it's cool. Hope you guys like it, and I will be back hopefully soon with another build, which is pretty darn exciting. I think you're going to like the next one. So make sure you like and subscribe and share with your friends, and we will see you on the next build.